see Rich Bickle now backed up, and Kenny Irvin has gone by.
So this is going to be 7th, 8th, 9th, and now Bickle at the tail end of the top 10, complaining of a miss in the engine. You're on board with Rich. If I were Joe Ruttmann, I would certainly be thinking, well, let's go put the pressure on Sprague if we can. And if you're Bickle, you're thinking, well, I'm going to hang on and just hope for the best here. Let's go back down trackside for more on the second place truck of Joe Ruttmann, number 80.
Well, Dave, what they're hoping is that Joe can rope in the leader, but he does have a little bit of a handling problem, a little loose through the turns. But his crew told me it's no different than anybody else is fighting out there. They hope to challenge in the closing laps.
And perhaps significantly here, they are pulling away from Resendiz, so the hope that Dave had appears to be very south with the laps winding down here. We're at 1:59, so it's 40 to go. We'll take a break and come back with more from Orlando.
Trying to keep the reins on the guy and hold him back, but you look up the rearview mirror and the guy's 3 or 4 car lengths behind you. You know, the object is to try to get away from him. Obviously, Jackson's trying to do that, but realize the crew realizes that he has a tire problem, a potential tire problem. They've got to keep those tires on the truck.
And of course, what Dennis Conner, the crew chief, recalls is that in the first half, Sprague ran away to a 4.5-second lead, only to see it evaporate when the tires wore out. Here is Butch Miller, and he has lost a position now to Rick Corelli, and I think Marty can update that story. Marty Reed on Butch Miller.
For you. Butch Miller's had one of those roller coaster days you were talking about. And it started yesterday when he crashed. And remember earlier we thought he had a drop cylinder? That's what they thought too. It was a bad plug wire. They fixed that. Butch fell all the way to the back of the field. Now he's climbed his way right back up near the front. So a really good day, but they're doing it the hard way in the 20 truck.
All right, Bill Weber, appreciate the hustle on that one. That is Butch Miller sitting in 5th spot, chasing Rick Corelli. Orleans, the sponsorship on that truck. That is Michael Gaughan's organization from out in Las Vegas, and a longtime supporter of Walker Evans and his off-road racing efforts. Now moving over here to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And as he goes chasing after Corelli, you see them moving by Mike Bliss, whose long weekend has come to naught here. He's now 16 laps down after clouding the wall.
Good run for Butch Miller, their first trip out with Walker Evans.
You hook up with a new team, you want to do well. The thing that impresses me is the stick-to-itiveness of that organization this weekend. They didn't have a whole lot in the truck when they showed up. They didn't have a backup after they crashed yesterday at practice. So,
oh, some trouble right in front of the leader. That's the 12 car of Doug George. Some contact between he and the leader of the race. George spins, does a 360, and NASCAR will now throw the caution flag.
An impressive job by George to keep on trucking. When he opened his eyes, he was headed right straight down the racetrack and said, well, let's keep on blasting here. But I'll tell you what, it was a scary moment for the front runners. Let's take another look at it.
There we see the 24 of Sprague come off the corner. He goes up and just runs in the back of this 12 truck, spins him, and around he goes. Wow, that was close. And you're right, George did a terrific job. Did a 360 and just kept on ticking. That's Bob Blake, the carburetor guy's truck, the 12. Inky Wheels, a sponsor on it.
Got a 3-race deal, and they were hoping that Inky might re-up for some additional races. I would say Doug demonstrated his driving ability right there. He deserves a couple of more rides in that thing, I think.
And I think one reason NASCAR threw the yellow flag, as we see Morgan holding, Chris Morgan, the flagman, holding the flag, I think is because Joe Ruttmann and all that smoke simply stopped to try to avoid the crash, and the 24, who caused the accident to begin with, simply got a one straightaway lead on Joe Ruttmann. So NASCAR said, well, that's not quite right for him to end up with such a big lead. Let's throw the caution flag, and he'll have a 2 truck length lead when they throw the green.
You saw Randy McDonald coming to pit road in the 0 truck, the former Canadian champion. under yellow here for a record-tying 11th time today, as a bunch the field up behind the Chevrolet Pace truck. Jack Sprague just right straight into the back of Doug George. There was no doubt about that. Space Mountain, one of the many attractions that lure the millions of tourists every year here to the Disney Empire, just across the way from Walt Disney World Speedway, inside the gates of the Magic Kingdom. But I'll tell you what, these snowbirds who came south for this race are finally getting what they came for. The jackets are starting to come off among that big crowd. Let's get down to Marty Reed and more on Sprague's situation.
I got a smile on my face because that man right there is Dennis Conner, the crew chief. I went up to him and said, well, are you pacing him pretty good? He goes, no, he's running 29s. I need him to run 30s. He says, thank goodness for the yellow. It may cool it down. Bill Weber, what do you got?
I'm down here in Joe Ruttmann's pit, about 30 to go now, and Randy Goss, who's his new crew chief, told me that basically there's a real fine line between who's using up their tires and who is not. They don't think they are. They're hoping Sprague is. Randy believes in the last 15 laps, you'll find out.
Kind of an old reunion here for the motorcycle crowd. Tammy Jo Kirk was a motorcycle racer. Randy Goss is the former AMA Grand National Dirt Track Motorcycle Champion, and now hoping to bring his truck home with a win here today for Ruttmann. Let's take another look in real time at the incident that brought out this yellow. Real time means real fast.
Yeah, once again, the leader of the race, Jack Sprague, just made contact with Doug George, and around he goes. Now, we're going to have a restart, and Joe Ruttmann in the 80 truck is going to be right on the back bumper of the leader.
We've certainly enjoyed the shots we've seen from the blimp. There is no place more interesting to look at those Goodyear Stars and Stripes blimp pictures than here at the Walt Disney Kingdom, where there is so much to see, so many attractions. We thank Captain Maloney and the crew. They've done a great job today in showing us the scene and this unique three-cornered racetrack with elevation changes, three very different corners, a racetrack on which a lot of people thought passing would be difficult. We've seen our share of passing today. We've seen a whole lot of crashing today. And before this thing is over, we may very well see a spectacular finish, because with just a bit more than 25 miles to go, getting back to green, we have Sprague, Ruttmann, Resendiz, Corelli, and Miller all hooked up in the top. Green is in the air. We're back at it.